Hey everyone, today we're going to be installing our Propex HS 2800 series propane heater. We decided to go with propane rather than gas or diesel heater because we already have a propane hot water heater, and our oven and range combo will be propane as well. We'll be mounting our heater between the wheel well and our hot water heater, and the hot water heater and heater both will be concealed by a bench. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to crawl up under the van, and here's our hot water heater, here's the wheel well, and I'm going to put a test hole right up into this cavity here, and hopefully it turns out to be in the right spot. Alright, let's go see what that looks like on the inside. Interestingly enough, I can't find the drill bit, so perhaps it is up under this box. And it's not. I'm not really sure what happened there. Somehow this popped up right where we needed it to. Right between here and here. So that's good news. Now I'll center it up a bit better, and then we'll lay the template out on the floor and drill the holes for the exhaust. This one's like super close. It's like outside to outside of these holes is right at 6 inches. And there's like exactly a 6-inch gap in between the frame rails on the bottom side of the van. So probably what I'm going to do is take the hole saw and at least run the pilot bit on it up through the bottom. And hopefully that will get me locked in like a pretty good position up top to drill down. And then I'll put this template out on the floor, mark the bottom hole, and go from there. Wish me luck. Definitely going to need it on this one. Okay, we have the pilot hole that comes up to the bottom of the van, and then I laid this template out on the floor. I don't think you can see it right now in frame, but I'm going to see if the heater lines up well with the template and the space allotted. And that actually looks pretty good. I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty well centered between the hot water heater and the wheel well. So hopefully that'll work out on the bottom. It's super tight down there, and I'm pretty nervous about drilling these holes. But let's get to it. There's hole number 1 complete. As you can see, I kind of got onto this little buddy, but I'm hoping I can like smash that in, or the piece that goes there is kind of this like flexible rubber stuff, so maybe I'll be able to maneuver it around there. I don't know. So we are right on the edge, as you can see, and I guess we'll just have to kind of figure it out as we go. Also, how silly is this? We have an entire hole saw kit, but I had to go buy an 1.5-inch hole saw from Lowe's this morning so we could do this project. So silly. It goes from like 1.25 to 1.75 to 2 inches, but no 1.5 inch. I don't know. Every single time, man. Dead battery. We just got the holes drilled in, and I was not kidding. Look how tight this is. Here's one rail, and here's the other rail. right on the edge with both of them, even though we have this little guy right here that's kind of encroaching on this hole. Hopefully that won't jam us up too bad. If so, may just try and like smash it with a hammer. I don't really know yet. Kind of see how it goes with those little rubber booties. And just like every other hole in the van that we've cut, I'll be sure to touch it up with some spray paint and primer. And then the little gap between like the subfloor and the actual metal floor of the van, I'll be sealing that up with some caulk. That way no moisture or anything like that can get in there. I just pulled an incredibly genius move. I was like, oh, I'm gonna tape up the holes from the top side and paint them from the bottom side, and that way no paint gets inside of the car. I just got paint all over the floor. Hopefully some acetone will clean it up, but shh, don't tell Jelaine. That actually worked a lot easier than I thought it would. Now if I can just get it out of these little cracks, I'll be good to go. Pretty sure this is how the pros do it. Just had to loosen these screws and these screws up on the bottom. And you just take and slide these little mounting plates in, and then you tighten them back down. Flip the heater over and then secure it to the floor. Alright, now we have to take the exhaust outlet and place it here. And then take the combustion air inlet and place it here. Oops, need to put this on. Yeah, we'll tighten those down, run them down through the floor, and then we'll attach these little rails to the floor. That way the heater can't move any. And then we'll pretty well be done for now. We'll have to go ahead and like build the bench. That way we have space to shoot these out into the cabin area, so it'll be nice and toasty for us. There have been a few things that are kind of discouraging about this. One of them is they tell you to they give you a template and tell you to cut out a 40mm hole and a 51mm hole. Well, you do that and then you run into this issue, which the 40mm hole fits great, but why do you cut a 51mm hole? So I looked back at the instructions and it said just to cut two 40mm holes, which is not what's displayed on the template. Another thing that's kind of annoying is they have you attach these like little blue rubber grommets down to the heater using these clamps. But once you do that, it won't mount level to the floor because the clamp sticks up more than the actual floor mount. So we cut these little pieces to go here and here just to elevate that up so there's plenty of clearance. But other than that, it's been pretty easy. The little shims I cut weren't quite tall enough, so I cut some more, a little bit more thick, and I'm going to drop this back in the hole, get another fit on it, and mark these out, and then I'll attach these to the floor and then attach the heater brackets to these. All right, this is what it looks like all mounted up. Unfortunately, we still have that hole to deal with that I over drilled, so I'm going to crawl up under the van, and I guess I'm just going to caulk it for now and kind of keep an eye on it. I'm not really sure the best option. Thought about using like fireproof foam or something, but I was worried if I sprayed it up from the bottom, then foam would go all over the place, so I don't know. I guess caulk it is for now, and if that deteriorates or something like that, we'll just address that in the future. It's a day and a half later and I'm finally getting to attach the exhaust line. It took that long for all of that caulk to dry where I over drilled that hole. But yeah, here we are, about to fasten this P-clip on there. I have no doubt that I'll have to go grab some more from a big box store, but this is all that they sent with it, so this is what we'll do for now. This exhaust and intake air pipe have really turned into little boogers. The ends, once they're mounted, have to be like 1/2 meter apart, and they're supposed to have a downhill slope. And for where we decided to mount our heater, right next to the wheel well, it's kind of been interesting to figure all of that out. I currently have the exhaust pipe figured out, but I'm not too sure about the air inlet. I was able to get a few more bolts in, but look what this metal is doing to these bolts. I guess I just need some like number 8 bolts or something like that. But check this out. It's like literally taking the threads off of them. I don't know, some super hard stuff we're having to go into on one of the brackets, but I think we have it where we can actually just put like a bolt and a lock washer on. Or like a bolt with like a lock washer.
Nut.
I ended up having to go to Lowe's sooner than I expected. I ended up stripping one of the screws. I thought I was being slick and stealing the clamp off the air inlet and using that, so it would save me a little bit of time, but I had to get screws in. I got 4 more clamps for good measure. I'm not sure I'm going to need all of those, but rather do that than waste an hour or so going back to Lowe's. I ended up attaching this last little bracket with like a small bolt. I actually just like drilled a hole through this sidewall, then put the nut on this side and the bolt through that side. That. And then, ooh. We only broke like 10 other bolts and stripped the heck out of the rest of them, so that's all we ended up needing. And really and truly, that was the biggest pain in the butt of the entire heater install.
Thank you for watching today's video. As always, it's time for our tips, tricks, mistakes, and cost. First thing up is to follow and read all of the instructions. We originally read the first part of the instructions and it said to follow the template, and then later on we were going back to look at something else and we realized that it said to cut 2 40mm holes instead of a 40 and a 51 like the template says. So make sure to read all of the instructions before starting the project, because we did not.
Yeah, it'll save you a lot of headache and a lot of trying to figure out how to fill that excess 11mm of a hole that you now have in your floor. So definitely read the instructions all the way through. I don't even know why it was set up that way. It was ridiculous. Yeah. But it is what it is. We have a bigger hole in our floor. We sealed it up with caulk. Seems to be holding pretty well, so excited about that. But I think it's something we're gonna have to keep an eye on just to make sure it doesn't crack or weather really bad or anything like that. But do the right thing, cut a smaller hole off the get-go, read the instructions all the way through. don't listen to the template. It's crazy.
So Ben pretty much did this entire project by himself, even the videoing and the camera work as well as the install. So you can do this like as a one-person job for sure.
Sorry for the lame B-roll. Jelaine's usually the backup shooter.
But I was at work that day, so he tackled the project by himself and did a great job.
There's obviously a lot of different types of heaters out there, gasoline heaters, diesel heaters. I'm sure there's other fuel sources available as well, but propane worked out best for us. We already have a propane range oven combo and a propane hot water heater, as you may have seen in a previous video.
We'll link it right here.
Really, I didn't want to go into the whole hassle of tapping into the fuel line of the Promaster. That was above my head. I didn't even want to consider doing that. And then also, as far as like a diesel heater goes, which is I think primarily what a lot of people use, we didn't want to have to stop and like fill up diesel just on the random occasion that we needed, I don't know, heat. And also we just didn't want to carry diesel in the back of the van, and diesel stinks. I've worked around diesel equipment, diesel trucks like forever. When it spills, it makes a mess. It stinks. No. So propane was like the only option for us, really and truly. So that's what we did. It was super easy install, easy to hook up. When you're actually attaching the exhaust and the air inlet hoses to the frame, just be prepared. You're going to break a ton of drill bits. The frame is like crazy hard metal in some areas, and it's super soft in other areas where it's not even necessarily a frame. I guess more like a unibody. I don't know what it is, but I broke a ton of drill bits, stripped a ton of screws, ended up just using a bolt in the end that ended up working out best for us. So just be prepared for that. And I think it would be easier if you didn't mount the heater where we did, so close to the wheel well. You would have like a lot more flexible options as for running the exhaust and the air inlet hoses. But that's where we decided to put ours. It kind of like, that's what we had to do for our layout. And if you plan further ahead than we did, maybe you can make it easier on yourself.
The total cost of the heater and all of the hardware, including all the screws that we stripped and the drill bits, was $1,074.32.
Thanks so much for joining us in today's video. We're Ben and Jelaine with Nomadic Visuals, and we'll see you in the next one.